What's up, passionate DJs? Today we're talking all about... Alright, you know what? What's up, passionate DJs? Today we're talking all about DJ stands. Now, we've got stands for your controllers, stands for your laptop, stands that extend, stands that rotate, stands that twist and turn, stands that articulate, that collapse. We're going to talk about all that stuff today, right here on Passionate DJ. Now, we're going to start today by looking at this little stand right here, and I've lost count of how many times somebody has asked what this stand is in various reviews. This is the little stand that I use to prop things up when I'm taking pictures of it or talking about it here on the channel, and it really is just a simple wireframe angled stand. And I'm happy to share the link, every time somebody asks, but to be clear, it's really not that great of a stand. I mean, it's really just this kind of generic thing. It doesn't really save you any room in any way. It just, props your laptop or controller or what have you up at an angle. Now, that being said, there are some nice things about it. It's got this little collapsible lip here at the bottom that holds your equipment in place, and it's got a little soft pad there to make sure that it doesn't mar anything up. It's got so many different adjustments here so that you could put it up just a little bit of an angle, more like this, or you could set it more upright like this, closer to a 45. And it is like this mesh wire design, so it is well ventilated. So if you are putting something like a laptop on here, you don't have to worry about it trapping any heat or anything like that. And it does look pretty nice, as evidenced by everybody asking about it. It's not super great at being like a DJ stand, just for the simple fact that, it doesn't save you any room. Everything's always going to be this footprint, right? You're not going to be able to slide it under your mixer or adjust it in any other way other than this angle. The other thing is, it's also not the sturdiest thing. So if you put really heavy equipment on here, it's going to kind of bounce around and you'll see it kind of wobble. If you're the kind of DJ who likes to put their DJ mixer at a bit of an angle instead of have it flat on the table, something like that, then this is a great option for just $16 and will be the cheapest thing that we talk about today. All right, so the next one I'd like to talk about is this little laptop stand by Pyle. I borrowed this one from Modingo, so no sponsor. So as you can see, it collapses down really flat, so it's easy to store in your coffin case or something like that. And there you go. You've got yourself a nice laptop stand, and it swivels around like this. It's got these little feet here that will, keep your laptop from sliding off. And then it's got these long legs under here that you can put under your mixer, for example. So if you like having the laptop dead in front of you, then you could put this under your mixer and you can have both things there. The other nice thing is it's got this height adjustment. So if you twist this little thing, almost like a little mic stand, actually gets quite a bit of height there. So this is a really nice one for Mo because he is sort of like a mobile hustler DJ, and he's always playing in a different kind of place. Sometimes it's a wedding, sometimes it's outside, sometimes he's using his pre-built facade thing, sometimes it's in a club, and so it's nice to be able to have all these different adjustments so that he can put his laptop wherever he wants. So this is a great option if you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, but you need some adjustability. You want to be able to put it high or low, and you want to be able to rotate this around. See, this is one thing you do have to be careful of, though, is if you put it around this way, you've got an imbalance if you don't have the feet under something, right? So that's just, physics. This is a pretty nice option, and it does have one more trick where you can do it like this. So this might be a convenient placement if you want to, say, put some kind of modular controller up here and you just kind of want to angle it up and be able to see it better. So it does have some nice features. I'd say the downside of this one is, well, the build quality isn't so great. As you can see, the tolerances on it make it, it's just not tight. It's kind of a wobbly thing. You can also really see where all the welds were made and stuff. So it's not like a premium level thing, but it is convenient and has some good adjustability. So that is the option from Pyle. And then the next options that we're going to talk about are from Reloop. They did send these to me, but once again, not a sponsor. All thoughts about this stuff are my own. This is the first one I want to talk about. This one's called the Laptop Stand Flex. And this is the one that you want if you want a lot of height. This is the lowest setting, and you can see it's notched 3 times here. And so basically you can loosen all these little twisties here, and it goes all the way up to this height. So if you need to get your laptop way ahead of everything, way above everything, this is the one you want. The thing I like about this, and really all of the Reloop stands, is it's really well built. You know, there's no sketchy welds or anything. It's all, you know, well fastened together. The top here has these nice felt pads to make sure it doesn't, you know, mar up your laptop or whatever you're putting on there. It's not the most adjustable stand of the bunch, right? It just has 3 height adjustments. It doesn't swivel. It doesn't do anything like that. And if you want to collapse it, you can, but you basically have to kind of disassemble it. So it's a little bit of work to do that. But man, if you want to get your laptop up to the moon, this is the one to do it. And it is very well built, and it looks nice. I like this one, but it just doesn't do a whole lot. It does fit under your mixer though, so again, if you're a tall DJ or you have a setup where you just need to get the laptop up that high for some reason, you have that option. Now, sort of going to the opposite end of the spectrum, we have the Reloop Modular stand, and this is just a little guy. Right? This is just if you want to basically, rather than your laptop or something like that, if you just need a little modular controller and you want to elevate it. So if you have, the example that they use is the Reloop Neon, of course, but it also works with my XP2, just like that. It also has a few different adjustments here. So if you push the little button on the back, put it up like this. Now, it doesn't rotate, doesn't do anything like that, but it is very sturdy, which I like, and it has a few different options. So it's got these little pegs here that you can take out, and also these come out. So you can sort of configure it however it makes sense for your own personal setup and whatever kind of controller you're using. And it will also collapse down fairly easily, like that, for storage. Now, it's a little bit like the Pyle unit in that the tolerances, like you can feel it's just a little bit wiggly in there, but that's just from these, like, you know, where it allows you to adjust. There's a little bit of play, but not really a big deal. So this is really the one that you want if you need something very portable, convenient. You just want to raise a little modular controller like this up off of the deck. Well, this is a great option to do that. This is also a great option if what you want to do is hold a tablet, like an iPad, rather than a laptop, because it fits pretty nicely on there. Really makes for a great little iPad stand. So if you use, you know, Algorithm DJ or something like that on your iOS device, then this might be a great option for you as well. And now for the big dog. This is the Reloop Stand Hub Pro. And this thing is really great, but, you know, it's not cheap. Now, it comes with this lovely little sort of micro suede bag. And in here is a smaller little pouch. And the purpose of this is actually to hold the little USB-C cable that you'll use to connect to your laptop, and this little Allen wrench. And this is used to make adjustments to these 2 little pivot points here so that you can dial this thing in perfectly. So for example, I can loosen these a little bit, and you can tighten it just a little bit if you want it to still have some adjustability, or you can tighten it down real hard if you want it to stay in place. I'm going to leave it just kind of loose so that we can make adjustments.
So as you can see, you can adjust this basically any which way you want, as long as rotate the base itself like this. So it's definitely the most adjustable of the bunch that we've used today. But the other big selling point of the Stand Hub Pro is its built-in powered USB hub thing that lets you connect all of your little devices and everything to it and only have to connect one little cable to your laptop whenever you want to, say have your CDJs and whatever else connected to it. That stuff can stay as it is and you can just kind of walk away with your laptop. But that said, it's also very portable and easy to take on the road as well. So let's take a little bit closer look at the hub part of the Stand Hub Pro. On the one side here, we have a built-in Ethernet port, so if you want to have this thing hardwired for internet, you can have that plugged in there so that whenever you're connected to the Stand Hub Pro, you have that solid internet connection, great for live streamers, for example. 2 old school USB ports right here, as well as a built-in card reader for SD cards and micro SD cards. So if you're a content creator, this could be worth it in itself just because it has that built right in. Now, if we spin this guy around, you'll see we've just got a ton of USB-C ports over here, and then we have an HDMI port on the top for connecting to an external display. The one at the bottom is marked with a little lightning bolt, so that's the one where you want to connect your actual power brick that's powering your laptop. Then you have one that's got a little picture of a laptop on it, and this is your power distribution port. So this is the one where you connect the little tiny cable to your laptop to make sure everything stays charging. So that leaves you with 3 USB-C ports right here in the middle to connect all your peripherals. So for example, maybe you would connect, CDJs to these, but I still want to connect my old DJM 850 mixer. Well, I still need an old school USB port for that, so I could just connect a little adapter to one of these USB-C ports and still use it for that, like so. Now, there's one thing that I do have to do my due diligence and point out is this HDMI port. Now, if you have this connected to a very fancy external display for some reason, maybe you're using this with your digital audio workstation where you make tracks, or if you have sort of a shared gaming PC thing that you also DJ off of, you're going to find that it is limited to 30 hertz. Your frame rate will be capped at 30 frames per second. If, for example, you use this hub in your everyday life outside of DJing, you have it connected to a very fancy high refresh monitor that can do 165 frames per second or something like that, you won't get that functionality out of this. This is more of a productivity hub. This video is 30 frames per second, okay? So it's not a huge deal for anything other than if you're trying to use a high refresh rate, you're not going to get it through that port. Overall, I really like the construction of the Stand Hub Pro. It feels really solid. This aluminum stuff is great, and it's got really great little padding here. The only thing that might make me nervous is I wonder how many hundreds of times you can do this before that starts to feel loose. And it stays pretty sturdy in just about any configuration I can put it in. And this is the only stand out of this whole bunch I've found that I could actually work into my workflow in a meaningful way just because of how adjustable it is. So to me, the built-in hub stuff is pretty great, but the selling point is actually how many different ways you could set this up to fit in your particular workflow. Or if you are a mobile DJ and you're, setting up on a lot of different situations that you might not be sure what you're encountering, this sort of adjustability is really nice. Whereas, with some of the other stands, like the really tall laptop stand Flex, you're kind of limited to what you can do because you can't rotate the top or the bottom piece. So once you've stuck that under your mixer, you're kind of stuck with that placement. So you could try some of these other placements. It just makes it a lot tougher to get the device that you're trying to angle at the proper, angle. And so it really comes down to what works for each individual setup, and what I found works well for me is basically something like this. My basic little $16 stand is great for putting a lightweight modular controller at a slight angle. But on the other end, the Stand Hub Pro allows me to keep my whole setup connected, and I can walk away with just my laptop at any time. and its physical flexibility allows me to place it off to the side, but still at a meaningful angle and keeps it out of the direct center of view. Now admittedly, I could almost just as easily use the much cheaper Pyle stand to do nearly the same thing, and I could just combine it with a basic smart hub like this, and I'd have functionally the same setup for much cheaper, just wouldn't be quite as clean looking. So that's the main point of today's video, to get you thinking about what's important to your setup when it comes to ergonomics, the size and shape of your own setup, and your connectivity needs. There are way more options than I could possibly cover in this video, including stands that hold 2 laptops at once or that have little shelves underneath, but no doubt there's a stand out there for you.
So there you have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's video on... Oh, right. I hope you enjoyed today's video on DJ stands, and I hope that by watching this video, you've kind of discovered that there's actually a lot of options in this space for any price point, and to be able to really fit any of these items into your own workflow. You know, the one thing that I really found was it's not always the size of the stand or the way that it rotates, but just the way that you can make adjustments to the articulation, such as is the case with the Reloop Stand Hub Pro, where you could really lean it back or forward or backwards or rotate it around to make it fit in a certain space. One thing that I've always had to deal with here on Passionate DJ is this really shallow DJ booth. For as long as it is, it doesn't give me a whole lot of room to put things, and that includes a laptop or a laptop stand. So having something that can really articulate and move around like that means a lot to me. But for some people, they just want a little bit of angle. They just want to move it up, or they just want to get the laptop over to the side or out of their face. But no matter what, I hope that you found something useful for yourself here, and as always, keep on spinning.